Today's headline asks, how does a U.S. Secretary of State actually run a foreign country from across the ocean? That's the story behind Marco Rubio's role in Venezuela's crisis. In the Trump administration, Rubio, renowned for his hardline stance on migration and his frequent visits to Latin America, took an unprecedented step beyond traditional diplomacy. He didn't just negotiate with Venezuela's leadership, he used real estate and spending power to steer the nation's finances, orchestrate the allocation of its oil and mineral resources, and shape policy decisions that many argue blurred the line between foreign policy and direct intervention. Under the Department of State's auspices, Rubio leveraged the U.S. Treasury's sanctions toolkit and congressional approvals to freeze assets, cut off crucial trade routes, and pressured the government of Nicolas Maduro to step down. The effect was a de facto control over Venezuela's revenue streams, which are heavily dependent on oil and mining. As a result, even while Caracas maintained a facade of sovereignty, the lifeblood of its economy was under the thumb of a U.S. secretary. The Trump era amplified this reach. Political rhetoric was aggressive, and domestic audiences applauded measures that exposed the corruption of the Venezuelan regime. Rubio's high-profile visits, often accompanied by ghost-subsidized air travel and intelligence briefings, symbolized a visible American presence. Media coverage underscored how his every move was broadcast domestically, framing the narrative that the U.S. was rescuing Venezuelans from a failing system. Critics argue the move complicated the already volatile geopolitical landscape. By coupling diplomatic leverage with financial sanctions, Rubio's staff effectively turned the State Department into a de facto governing body, managing budgets and resource distribution that would normally be a sovereign matter. Point by point, pundits have highlighted how such influence embarrassed Venezuelan officials and intensified calls for a complete overhaul of their governance structure. Experts say the outcome was a radical shift in U.S. foreign policy, a move that grants unprecedented quasi-command over a sovereign nation's economic decisions. The longer-term impact remains uncertain, as the Venezuelan transition continues to encounter legislative and diplomatic resistance, both domestically and from rival powers complicit in the nation's political economy. Nevertheless, the lesson is clear for anyone following international news. Under certain administrations, the U.S. Secretary can extend beyond negotiation, shaping a country's financial veins and resource baselines, an extraordinary illustration of global power's hands that can slip over borders. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.